Yo, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy Ben Mahari here, represent Mahari Nation Sports Podcast. Much love to the entire LDBC and the entire basketball community. If you want to check out more basketball content, tune into my show, Basketball Conversation, every Friday night, 9 p.m. Central Time. This is where we discuss basketball-related topics, news, debates, and everything else in the world of basketball. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon to get all the latest notifications when I start dropping videos and live streams. So, this is pretty much going to be sort of a medium lengthy video or something like that, but not going to be too long. But Jay Williams, who basically works for ESPN, basically called out the players, in a video that he basically did a couple of days ago. And when I heard about this video, I immediately just was like, dude, come on. Why you gotta say that, bro? Like, he's literally saying a lot of the company stuff that a lot of the people working at ESPN would normally say all the time. But this is what he pretty much had to say in a video that he been in, pretty much in a video that he once did. And here's some tweet. Here's some things that he said during that Sunday. That a lot of the NBA that he suggested that the players not to be tone deaf and living in this so-called billion-dollar bubble. He pretty much said in this first tweet, he said, we all have the right to complain, but doing it publicly is a different issue. I don't need some of my hashtag NBA brothers complaining publicly about the quality of living, and food combination in a billion-dollar bubble during the pandemic. Right. And then he took it a step further. So he made a video out of this and posted it on social media. So this is what he had to say. And I'm going to read to you the full script. End quote. NBA players cannot be tone deaf. My NBA brothers, you cannot be tone deaf right now in this current environment. Really? Then he continues on. We all know the life that NBA players live. You are blessed. You get a chance to be on private planes. You get a chance to have millions of dollars in your bank account. You live in a different level of life. That is drastically different than what real everyday working Americans are going through right now. Now, you're living in a billion-dollar bubble. If you want to complain about the extended the anxieties that you have from COVID related issues, I get it. Complain about that. We all have the right to complain about that. But when I hear NBA guys complaining about the living facilities, food that they are being delivered to them, it is tone deaf. It's tone deaf. We need to think about people who are everyday working people who are making minimum wage, trying to make ends meet, that are going to factories, that are going to really harsh working environments where, if anything, make their employers do less to ensure their safety because they're trying to increase the bottom line. They're trying to earn and make money back from all the money that they lost during the times that a lot of these states and individually governed have been dealing with this issue. So when I see guys that are going into a billion dollar bubble, and are getting food delivered to them that they have beds to sleep in, you can't complain about that. Not while that you're making millions of dollars. Not while your employer is going through drastic measures to protect you while you're still paying while they're still paying you when it's not easy, it's not the case for everyday real working American. That bothers me. End quote. Well, I'll put it like this. I'm not gonna go too hard on him because there are tiny bit of points that do make sense. I mean, a lot of these players do make a lot more money than we do, and a lot of working Americans like myself don't have the luxury of that kind of financial backing. But here's the problem where I really have with this. Okay, when he talks about you know quit, don't complain about the issues about the living facilities, is basically tone deaf. What are you talking about that? It doesn't make sense to me when J.R. Smith is basically talking about how horrible the conditions are and how poorly the food is being received, and it doesn't make sense when Rajon Rondo pretty much talking about, yeah, hashtag this is like living in Motel 6. Like, bro, these are legitimate concerns that a lot of the NBA players are having living in this bubble right now in Orlando, Florida, where COVID cases are spiking through the roof. I mean, I remember on Sunday that literally there were over like 15,000 new cases of COVID-19, and it is spiking through the roof all the time. And it's like a lot of these analysts that are working in these big time networks, they are the ones who are tone deaf about this because they don't have to go through what the players are going through right now. And it's just like, bro, it's nice that you're basically saying what you really felt, but bro, some of that is company line talk, but the other of it is like, bro, that's just basically not understanding what your players are going through. And speaking as a perspective from a former player like Jason Williams, like, bro, you should know better more than anything what these players are going through at the moment right now. Sure, they're making millions of dollars, but here's the thing. If one of these players ends up hurt like you did when you were starting out your NBA career, they could lose all of that money. And think about this: if a lot of these players end up getting sick throughout this whole bubble thing, and they have to go home to their families, they're bringing the virus to their own households. So what are you talking about? This right here does not make any sense to me whatsoever. It literally doesn't. Because at the end of the day, what you're basically telling is that you shouldn't be complaining about what you shouldn't be complaining about what the NBA is giving you. Why do you should say that? The players have every single right to complain about what they're going through right now because a lot of the issues were obviously not addressed to begin with. And so, sure that the players can be a bit of crybaby sometimes and they complain about the dumbest stuff. I get that. But to me, in this particular subject, these are legitimate concerns. And these concerns have not been addressed that as much to NBA circles, in my viewpoint. And that's why you saw J.R. Smith did the Instagram video. You seen players tweeting how poorly the food is and how horrible the the furniture is or whatever, what have you and whatnot. Now I'm sure LeBron James is not living in those kind of conditions because then he would probably pitch a fit at this particular moment. But at the end of the day, listen, man, it's Jason. I, yeah, his real name's Jason anyway. But listen, Jay, it's nice of you that you could pretty much, basically tell the players to try to, overcome this. But when you use the word tone deaf, that's basically saying like under the lines of saying like, stop complaining about it. Shut up and just stay in that bubble and just play basketball to suit for our entertainment. That's to me, that's where I had the biggest problem with that. I really do. And when you come out and say those kind of statements all the time, when you call out the NBA players on that, it really exposes yourself a lot of your own biases and a lot of the company line of what these analysts are supposed to say all the time. Like, listen, it's like these analysts are basically handicapped to the things they actually want to say, and it's very disturbing like that. There's a big reason why Adrian Wojnarowski got suspended for it during the weekend. And so at the end, so the bottom line is though, man, like, listen, stop stop trying to pretend like these players don't have legitimate concerns. They do. And if a lot of these players are saying like this, the NBA has not taken into account the horrible, conditions that they're going through in this bubble right now, then they're not doing the due diligence to help serve the needs of the players. And I'm guaranteeing you this right now. I have been consistent about what my stance is. They should have canceled the season in the first place. Cancel out the entire season, take the financial hit, and start over. You know what I'm saying? Even though it might take a long while before a new vaccine comes in, you're going to have to find a way to renegotiate a new CBA to try to protect the investment of these players. But they're not doing that. And I don't really think a lot of these networks are taking into account. Well, I would say that they do, but they just don't really care about it because what they want is that they want their sports back to draw out more viewers and draw more out ratings right now. That's what just basically comes down to it. And I just did not appreciate the sentiment and the perspective of Jason Williams was coming from with those comments. It just sounds like to me like he tried to be sincere, but it just came across as just pure ignorance to me. And I don't really respect that. I don't like that at all. And Jay Williams, bro, is like, listen, you're smart enough not to say that because you as a player, you understand what they go through all the time. So to me right there, that just did not make any sense. And it's not the first time a lot of these analysts are going to do it, and it sure as hell will not be the last. You know what I'm saying? So that's just pretty much my 2 cents on the whole, entire situation. I just think Jay Williams just made a bad example out of it. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section.